Hello, I'm Kelly and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Animal Instinct. It's Sunday the 23rd of April 2023 and I'm back with another cross-stitching update. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Thanks to all my existing subscribers and welcome if you're new. I didn't film as planned last weekend. Time got away from me a bit. I'm also a little bit behind on responding to comments. So I will get there. So I apologise for that. Today I have loads of different things to share with you. There's heaps of stitching coming up. And I think it's kind of a reflection of all of this. It all boils down to one thing, and that is that I'm a bit stressed at the moment. It's been a pretty challenging year. I'm not going to go into any details, but I'm finding that I'm having trouble like focusing on on one project. So the stress does not come from cross stitch. Cross stitch is my stress relief, as I'm sure it is for many of you. But it's interesting, yeah, I just have been jumping around from project to project in the last few weeks. I'm so grateful for this amazing hobby. Before I get into all the stitching though, I thought I would share a bit of an interaction I had with an iconic Aussie animal last weekend. I know there's a lot of viewers from overseas and I thought you might like to hear about this, and I've got a little bit of footage. I was pulling out of my driveway and I kind of sensed some movement out of the corner of my eye, and I quickly pulled over, like I just made it as far as my next door neighbour's house. And I hopped out the car because I thought there might have been like a lost dog. And I got a shock of my life when I saw it was actually trotting towards me, and it was a koala. So I have heard koalas on my street before, but I've never seen one. So it was quite exciting for me. I have a newfound appreciation, I think, of them since I worked with them during the terrible bushfires from a few years ago. So I just wanted to also make sure that he was okay, and he was absolutely fine. By the time I reached him, he'd found his tree of choice, and was just sitting at the base. And then he scampered up it. So I didn't really think to take my phone out and film it until he was halfway up. But I do have this little snippet of him hopping up the tree, and I'll pop that in here now. How cute is he? That little bum. And it's amazing, you know, they're not that light, and they haul themselves up with those sharp claws. You might have also noticed a lot of bird sounds. It had just finished raining and all the birds were having a great time. I don't really notice that anymore. It's just home for me, that noise. But when I played the video back, I realised just how loud they were. When I came home later, I went and checked on him again, and he'd moved to another tree. So I've got a little bit more footage and I'll pop that in here. All right, enough of the koalas, let's get on to stitching. I have two fully finished pieces, only one's cross stitched though, so let's start with that one. I finished my elephant Biscornu from the Tiny Modernist. So I started stitching this piece in 2020. I finally finished stitching this year, and I happened to go to that Biscornu finishing class a few weeks back. So I decided to use the same technique I learnt at the class, which hopefully you can see, there we go. And then I raided my mum's button collection. I found a little pink button for the middle because there wasn't much room between those trunks. And then I popped a bigger one on the bottom. It's quite a large Biscornu. It's much bigger than the other ones I have stitched. But yeah, it's all done. Very happy with it. The next thing I finished is not cross stitch, but I did share it as a whip last time, so I'll show you. So there's two aspects to this. I I got a lot of comments actually about the Sashiko piece project I was doing, and yeah, it's really fun and interesting, a little bit different and really enjoyable. So there were two aspects to this project. The main one was the drawstring bag, which isn't done yet, but the second part was they called it a key fob, and I think the fobby bit is too big, but I did get the size that they recommended. Anyway, I'm really happy with it. It's just chunky, that's all. So that's the stitching. And then, so there's a loop, like a handle, and then it's attached to, it's attached to this. So you can put it, I'm not going to put it on keys, I might put it on scissors or a project bag. It was pretty straightforward to put together, a little bit fiddly. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the focus today. Okay. But I really do like learning new things. I'm one of those people that has to keep learning, otherwise I get a bit bored. So they're my two fully finished pieces, and then this is kind of like partially fully finished, I guess. And it's the bag. So I finished all of the weaving that I had still left to do. And then I followed the instructions. Now, I found them pretty hard to follow. And I even took them, I was going around to my mum's for dinner, and I took it with me because I was a bit confused, and then turned out she was too, so it wasn't just me, but we got through it together. Good teamwork, no bad words shared, but quite a bit of mutual frustration. Anyway. So I lined it, it's got the lining, and at this point, once you've got to this point, it says to wash it to get the lines out, so you can see hopefully that white line, and there's little bits throughout. It's interesting because it said on the pattern, like, do not use a steam iron because you'll lose the pattern, because you need that to follow to get this effect. But when I was finishing this, I steam ironed it heavily, and the lines are still there. They did not go away. So I haven't decided if I'm going to worry about washing it or not. So it's a drawstring bag. Previous drawstring bags I've made have had kind of a tunnel wet that you feed the string through. This one is different. It's got these things called metal koki, I think. Hopefully I can... So this part you pop over the edge of the bag, and then you use pliers and squeeze it together to close it, and then the string actually is fed through a number of those loops. It came with the string. It's like a waxed cord, and then you also do these fiddly little tulip things. I'll see if I can find a picture. At the end of the cord. It's not really a very good picture of it. These things I still have to make. So, I'm not sure when I'll get to that, but hopefully soon. If anyone's interested, this is the front of the kit that I bought. I just got it from my local quilt shop here in Adelaide. Weaving Sashiko Key drawstring bag kit with key fob. And it's by QH Textiles. I had a look online. It looks like that's a wholesale place, so you probably need to, if you're interested, you probably need to go to your local craft store and ask if they can get it in. But it's been a really enjoyable piece, and hopefully I'll get the bag done soon. All right, so now I have some finishes that I'm really excited to share with you. I have 3. Is that right? Yep. First of all, I finished my Sun Camera motorcycle. I don't need to show you the picture because I could just show you the stitching. It was a kit from Nitka Moscow, so I don't know if you can get them anymore, but it's based on artwork by Ronald West, and all I had to do was the back stitch and some French knots, and could have ironed it for you. Sorry, it has not been ironed. Or, sorry, not sorry. Here it is. I love it. So it's stitched on, I think it's a 27 count Linda, over 2. A mix of blends and not blends, and half stitches and full crosses. What I did when it came to, so when I worked on it, the main stitching, I had it in a Q-snap, and then for the back stitching I put it into a scroll frame and I could see the whole piece, and I just worked on it from left to right. Because the motorbike, it's quite detailed, the back stitching, I scanned the pattern because it was a paper pattern, and then I marked off the stitching as the back stitches as I did it in a PDF app, editing app. Look at it. Across, just the detail is incredible. Like, look at the fluffy clouds in the background. It's so simple but so effective. And that beautiful scene that she's looking at, photographing. So this is one that definitely needs to be framed, but for now it's going to go in my pile of finishes, which I would like to go through one day. I'll go through and film. It's growing in size all the time. Okay, next finish is sorry, I have a mental blank. Kristi's Corner, the first in her medieval marginalia series, Nun Harvesting Phalluses. So I hadn't really intended on finishing this anytime soon, but I started this with Jo from Belushi Stitches, and she decided she was going to finish hers. So I thought, okay, well, fine, I'll finish mine too. And I worked on it over Easter, and I've got here, I put in, altogether I worked on it for 5 days. Oh, no, sorry, since I last filmed. I put in 5 days and I did almost 7,000 stitches. I loved everything about this. So I love the historical aspect. It's really, really interesting. Kristi did a wonderful job of charting it into cross stitch. It was a really enjoyable piece to stitch. And like, it's nice to have a giggle too. Like I mentioned, I'm a bit stressed at the moment, and I just like the funny the funny part as I'm stitching and admiring it. So it was perfect for me. Loved it. And Kristi's actually just released the next one in the series, so I need to get onto that. If you don't want to see Phalluses, I would suggest that you fast forward maybe a minute or so. I'll just give you some time now, just hit fast forward, because I'm just going to show it. I'm not going to try and censor it at all. You're just going to see it for what it is, the magnificent piece that it is. So I'm about to show it. Look away if you don't want to see it. Ta-da! It's on 40 count linen. It's Swiss Coffee by Colour and Cotton, and it's a little bit darker than it's showing. The light always blows it out a bit, but I picked it because it looks like sort of old paper. It's just so good. Like, look at her face. And the tree looks like brains. And then her little basket, look at the little basket. It's just brilliant. So I will stitch the next one on this fabric. I've still got half the fabric left, but I don't think I'm going to have enough to do 3 of them. That's all right, I'll worry about that later. But thank you, Kristi, for a great fun pattern. I'll have a link to Kristi's Etsy store. You can buy this pattern in the description box below. Okay, now my third finish was a start and a finish. I started this on Friday and I finished it on Saturday. It's just a small. I'll just show you the piece. I'm going to talk more about this in general later on. But this is called the Earth Day Sea Otter by Bad Stitched, I think it's called, Bad Stitch. And it's so cute. It is absolutely adorable, holding a little earth. This is part of the Earth Day Stitch Along collaboration through the Stitches Collective, and I'll talk more about that towards the end. But that's cutest little start and finish. It's on 16 count Ada in J by Picture This Plus. And I love it. All right, so now on to works in progress. I have a few, so just keep going. First up is Long Dog Samplers, the Pilgrim by Long Dog Samplers, this one. I'm trying to finish this one by the end of July, and I need to do just over 4,000 stitches a month to hopefully get it done. And this month it took me 8 days to get those 4,000 stitches in, although I actually got on a roll and I actually did, what did I do? 4,600 stitches. So it's now at 79% complete. It's pretty exciting. Let's have a look at the whole piece. Oh, hopefully I've got a photo or a screenshot from last video of where I was last time. Here it is now. So it's on 36 count platinum linen by Zweigart, and it's stitched using Silks For You PR011. The green, and the letters are in Silks For You PR140. So what I've done this month, basically all of this, or not all of it, maybe not all of the leaves. I did the horse. Now, I've never really taken the time to look at it closely, but is this, do you think this belongs to this horse? Because it kind of looks like it. So we've got a seahorse here. Is this also like a seahorse sort of thing, or like a mer horse? I don't know, never really noticed it. There's other fish around. What do you think? I finished the horse, I did the seahorse. There were some incomplete leaves. I've brought all of this down. I've come down here, come across here, and then I was about, I think it was 40 stitches down to the bottom left corner. So I just had to keep going and do that. And I actually messed up. I stitched just the edge, the very edge stitch, and then I started filling in more and like brought it back up, but it wasn't lining up properly, and I'd missed a whole 10 rows. So I had to go back down, frog, carry on down, and then go back up. Anyway, so very, very excited. We're really close now. So I've got 3 months left. Have I got any other stats here? No. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do next. I think I might just start bringing it across. So I've still got to fill in this. I'll probably do that. And maybe get the frog done. I'm not sure. I have gone ahead and charted the year and my initials. So when I get to that, that's already organised. Yeah. So this will go away now until May. Then another 4,000 stitches. I think there's just under 12,000 left now for the whole thing. So on track. Actually, Amy loves toads. Amy has just finished her Pilgrim. If you don't watch Amy, you should. You should watch Amy. But she's, yeah, her latest video she just shared, she's finished the Pilgrim, and it's also on a green. It's a different shade of green to the one that I'm using, and it's just beautiful. She's just done a magnificent job. So yeah, go have a look at Amy's finish. Right. That's Pilgrim. Next up is Love by Dany Lizeth, a Gecko Rouge kit that I started on my birthday. I don't have the cover picture here, so I'll pop a photo in. I think last time I was at about 15%. I've only put 3 days of stitching into this since I last filmed, but it's another about 2,000 stitches, and I'm now 18.5%. So there it is. It's on, oh man, I always forget this, hang on a second. 25 count Lagana, 1/1 full cross, Stormy Night. One day I'll remember that. Now I have reached a milestone this month, and that is I've completed the left-hand column, the first column of pages. So what I've done, I've moved across, and I'm just going to work my way down the second column of pages, and there's a lot of this kind of swirliness going on. A lot of light stitching. There will be some darker stitches around there though, so you'll be able to see them a little bit more, I think. Even if you can't, I don't really mind. But yeah, I just love it. So I'll be keeping that out and just continuing to work on it. The next project I've worked on is a little one. Oops. And it is my Mill Hill kit. Cheers. I'm not sort of tracking this one at all. I've just got it basically in my handbag. It's kind of my travel piece, I guess. It's been the victim of some rage stitching when I've worked on it at work a couple of times on like a lunch break, and I've basically taken my frustration out on this poor piece. So I think my tension is a bit tight in those spots. Anyway, fine, it's fine. Let's show you what I've done. So I've finished the lighter purple and I'm just going around. I've just got this little area to do with the darker purple, and you can kind of see it says C-H-E-E-R, and that's going to be an S, and I think that's in beads. Yeah, that'll be in beads, so I'll do the beads at the end. But I'm enjoying this. Yeah, first Mill Hill and really enjoying it. Okay, next one. I worked on Firefly. So if you haven't seen Firefly, because I haven't really worked on it much this year, this is Firefly. It's artwork by J Parks, and it's charted and kitted by Gecko Rouge, based on the TV show, although TV show they are humans, not cats. It's my biggest project. It's going to take me forever to get done. I'm supposedly working on River, this one, this year. I've completed this one, Captain and Simon, and now we're on to River. Love this piece. Don't really know why I haven't been working on it more. If I've got a photo, I'll pop it in of where I was. I've done another 4 days on it since I last filmed, and only like, I think it's 700 stitches. I'm now at 20.85%. I haven't taken it out of the Q-snap yet. Still in the Q-snap. So this is where River's looking like. This is what River is looking like, and I'm working on her ear here. So I've got most of those stitches done, and it's just a matter of filling in all of these. My plan is to get all of these done, so it's sort of complete above this arch, and then I'll start filling in her face. I'm going to work on this as a bit of a focus piece in June. I will still be working on the Pilgrim though, so it won't be my only project in June, but I should get a fair amount done. And then in September, it's going to be my like monogamous month. So hopefully there's like, I have a lot to go if I'm going to try and get her finished this year. I'm not sure if I'm going to be successful on that, but anyway, we'll see. So there is Firefly. At the start of June, I'll take it out of the Q-snap and show you where it's at completely. So yes, Firefly, finally. And I've got one more whip. I haven't been counting, but so far that's quite a few different things I've touched in the last few weeks. My last work in progress is the Bayun cat from Our Forest Embroidery. This one. I've already done the whale, and I have the, I can't remember what it is, but I have a third one. Anyway, I'm not going to be touching that until this one's done. I just worked on this last night, and all I've done is more of the blue. It's using the threads that came with the kit, so it's a variegated blue. Sorry, just checking something. So yeah, I've been coming this way, and that's the cat's tail, and there's like a structure on top. Well, there's multiple, but the one that I've started is that one, I think. Yeah. So I did I think it was about 260 stitches last night on that one. So yeah. That's a lot of different projects, but we're not finished. There's more. Now I'm into new starts. So, first up, I really had no business starting this. I was kind of passively trying to ignore the fact that it was coming. And I'm talking about Lola Cross Stitch's Greenhouse of Oddities. I've made a really tiny start on her Haunted Library, and it's a brilliant pattern. And really I probably should be focusing on getting more of that done. But I knew that she had another stitch along coming, and I just hadn't been actively looking at it. But then she released the frame, and that was it, all over, I'm in. So I have started it. I think there's 6 weeks to stitch the frame on this one, and then the various installments will come out more regularly. The pattern's excellent, and there's some really great explanatory notes too about the things that you're stitching as well. So it's not just a pattern, there's kind of more to it than that. This is my start. So I've done about 800 stitches so far, but there's about 6,000 or something in the whole frame, so there's a lot to go. It's kind of showing okay. It's a 32 count linen. It's from number 12 Stitch Co, and it's French pear, so it's like a soft green, and I think it's perfect. This was one of the contenders for the Supernatural Stitch Along by the Witchy Stitcher. But I think it fits this really, really well. I had wanted to do it on 40 count, but I saw this in my stash and just, yeah, it just screamed at me that it needed to be this one. So yeah, love the ornate start there. Oops. I know I'm not the only one who ended up buying it as soon as they saw the frame. Let me know if you're also one of those people. Okay, another start. This one I've never talked about before. For ages I've been wanting to stitch something Australian themed, and I had spent quite a lot of time looking. There are patterns out there, but none had really jumped out at me. And then I happened to see this particular pattern on UnconventionalXStitch last year, towards the end of last year I think it was. And you can buy patterns or kits from them, and it just happened to be when I found it they were having a sale, so I had never bought a kit from them before. It's an Australian company, and I was curious to see what a kit looked like, and so I do have this, and it's just been sitting here, and yeah, I decided I'd start it. So this is the piece. It's just called Galah, and the artwork is by Nicole Payne, and then it's been charted by UnconventionalXStitch, and I just love it. Galahs are everywhere here. Like, you would have heard Galahs in that Koala clip for sure. They're a pain. They're beautiful. They're a bit of a pain. As a vet, I have treated countless Galahs, and they are really, really noisy. Yeah, so I'll show you the kit. I've got it here. So it came in this box. It's like quite large. The actual piece is only I think it's 25,000 stitches, so it's not huge, and also you don't stitch the background. It's a bit of a mess in here. Hang on a second. I had not thought this through. I've already dismantled this, so I'm just going to show you bits because it's it's a bit chaotic in the box. But everything came beautifully packaged. It's just all out of the plastic now, and yeah. so I'm not going to show you that. But the fabric was serged and it has really generous margins, so tick and tick to both of those. Thread wise you get skeins of DMC, or everything that you'll need. It came with this little bag which contains 6 needles and a needle threader, so really generous. That's really great, very impressed by that. Also came with a needle minder, and it came with some little pins which I'll probably just pop onto project bags, just some random ones. I'm not sure which way that one goes, hang on. And this one. Came with a little, oops, thank you. So that's their details. Oops, not doing a good job of this. UnconventionalXStitch.com. It came with some stickers. Really cool, holographic skull, and also this one, keep calm and cross stitch on. It's also, they've also got their own tissue paper, and I'll just try and show you without making too much noise, but it's really neat. Oops. So that is the kit. It's really well done, so I was really impressed. And I have made a start. I've worked on this for just one day, and I did 666 stitches. It's on 18 count Aida, this one, and so far I'm really liking it. This is where I'm up to. It's my start. So there are loads of pinks in this piece. So yeah, okay, there is another start. There's 2 more starts actually. Alright, my next start is not cross stitch, but I've been wanting to start this for ages. This is another project by Kristi from Kristi's Corner Needlework, and she has a series on her Flosstube channel, Embroidery 101, and she goes through all the basic embroidery stitches. And not only does she go through them, she helps you make a project, so a little needle book. I've been wanting to try it for ages and I just never got around to it, but at the moment, because I'm jumping all over the shop, I thought, well, why not? Let's start a new craft. I think there's 9 videos in this series. She's an excellent teacher, so I really recommend it. I'll link it below. I feel like I probably should have like a practice cloth that I should practice the stitches on before doing them on the actual project, but I'm impatient, so I've just been learning as I go, and it's really interesting. I can see the stitches getting neater the more I progress. So this is what I've done so far. Do I show up? So very much beginner. Started with back stitch, which I think I did too small, but that's okay. This is going to be a tomato pincushion. So there's back stitch here and on the inside of the scissors. And then we did Oh, and I think on the outside of the thimble too. And then we did chain stitch. And then the next one was split stitch, which was really interesting. It's around the outside of the scissors. And I think next up is stem stitch. So I'm just gonna pick up, watch a video every now and then and stitch along as I'm watching. On the other side, it's gonna be a hoop and a bobbin or a spool, I can't quite remember. And then you make it into like a little needle book. She goes through not just the stitching, but right from the start, choosing fabrics, the equipment you need, how to transfer patterns onto fabric, like everything. And then you go through and she'll show you how to actually finish it into a little needle book, all hand stitched, no machines required. So if you want to learn something new, go and check it out. It's fun. All right, so I've got one more start. Told you. Hang on a second. A pile of things precariously sitting here. The new start is related to this one too. And it also relates to my haul. So so what am I trying to say? There is a new community of cross-stitch designers. I'm not a designer, I'm not part of it, but I've just seen their posts on Instagram. And they're calling themselves the Stitches Collective. And it's just it seems to be a really great concept. And they've come together and done a bit of a collaboration for Earth Day. It's as a fundraiser for Earth Day. If you make a donation, minimum $10 US, to one of 4 charities nominated by them, and then you provide them with your receipt, you get access to all of these patterns. So there's 31 Earth Day themed patterns. And so that's where this one, the sea otter, came from. And I just love it. I love the whole concept. Whoa. Stay. And immediately when I was looking through the patterns, I thought, hey, this is giving me an idea that I could slowly stitch a number, probably not all of them, but you know, a selection of them, and finish them in another quilt like this. So I think I might do that. No set plans on when I would want to have it done by or anything. It's nice to have small pieces to work on and see those finishes regularly. That's what I really liked about all of the pieces behind me. They were sort of small, and yeah, it's always nice to have that finish feeling. So first one's done, and I have started the second one. It's called Arctic Friends by Flossy Fox Shop. And I just made a tiny start on it last night. I remembered I had this bright blue Ada in my stash from years ago, and I've never really known what to stitch on it. And I'm not sure if this is sort of what it's supposed to be stitched on, or in the mock-up, but I think it's going to work really well. So I've just done a tiny start there, and I think it's 14 count Ada. I'm not actually sure. It's very bright. So yeah, that's the plan. I'll just slowly work my way through. Hopefully I'll always just have one of these projects on the go for the next little while, and we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll get sick of them, I don't know, and I won't do that, but at the moment I'm thinking it would be a nice sort of discreet project to finish into another little quilt. Whew. Okay, so that's everything I've worked on in the last 3 weeks. I do have some plans I just want to go through quickly. So next month is May, and I'm sort of participating in Mermania, so working on some mermaid themed projects. Emma from X Stitching and Jo Belushi Stitches are they're all in with Mermania. I can't remember the hashtag, I'll pop it on the screen. So if you are interested in stitching mermaid pieces, you can, and you want to share and interact with other people doing the same in May, use the hashtag on Instagram, or also join their Facebook group, Sour Queens and Friends, and people will be sharing their mermaid themed patterns in there. I think that's right. So I only have 2. I had hoped to do another one, but I don't have the supplies to do that one yet. But the 2 I'll be working on will be my existing project Mermaid's Folly. So I'll still have Pilgrim to get through as well, but I'm hoping to get maybe a couple of weeks on this. And when you actually stitch on it, it goes pretty quickly, so I should be able to get a page done, I reckon. At least a page, maybe more. We'll see. And then also starting The Red Mermaid by RTO. And I know there's others also who have this kit and are going to start in May. I don't know when exactly I'm going to start. It'll be started in May, that's all I know. It comes with Navy Ada. I might just get it out. And I'm absolutely fine with stitching on this. It's scratchy and a bit yuck, but I had intended on stitching on it. So really dark Navy Ada. And I'd like to ask your opinion. I also found this piece. So I think this is 14 count. Yep. 14 count Navy Ada. I found this piece in my stash, and it's a 32 count linen in Sorcerer, and it's by Colour Cascade Fabrics. I've had it in my stash for ages. There's even a little star of something on it that I need to frog. It's this one. So what do you reckon? I had planned on doing the navy, but then I found this and I'm like, oh, maybe you should look. Hang on, should just get it out. What do you reckon on this one? Or will it be better with the navy? I'm not sure. Help. What do you reckon? Let me know. Yeah, I have no idea. So still pondering on that. Okay, that is everything. That's all the stitching. I thought I'd give a really quick little Reggie update. Reggie's my little cat who is usually here, and I don't think he actually showed his face last video either. So just a little quick mention of Reggie. He, poor little fellow, he has been experiencing some pain in his mouth. He already had most of his teeth extracted last year. This new problem he has actually isn't related to that, we don't think. I think it's more of a nerve pain problem. And actually last time I filmed, he'd probably just been starting to show signs of pain and wasn't quite himself, which might be why he wasn't here, because he is normally with me. He's only got a few teeth left and he's been grinding them. It's awful. But I've got him on a trial of some medication to try and manage nerve pain. and I can tell you absolutely where he is today. He's snoozing in my bedroom in sunshine because he's just started on this medication and it's making him very sleepy. So I'm hoping that once he's only been on it for a few days, once he gets used to it, it won't affect him so much, but hopefully manage the pain. So we're doing basically a treatment trial to see if it helps, and I hope to have my boy back and 100% back to his cheeky self really soon. Yeah, so that's where Reggie is at the moment, snoozing in the sun. It's a pretty tough life. All right, that is more than enough for today. Thank you so much for sticking with me if you've made it this far. I will get back onto comments, etc. And I want to get back to filming. I really like filming kind of the start and the middle of the month, or the middle and the end of the month. So I need to work out my filming schedule. I do like doing them fortnightly, but I'm a little bit out of whack at the moment. So bear with me. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon. And in the meantime, happy stitching. See ya.